You do not want to make these mistakes in Raid. In my year of playing this game, there's a lot that I've learned that I should do and a lot I've learned I should not do. For today's video, I'm going to give you the top things you do not want to do as a new player. Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. In my time playing, I'd like to think I have learned a lot, and I do think I'm still learning. So if this is knowledge I can pass along to you, especially if you are new and starting Raid, then I'm happy to have hopefully helped you. Now, the first thing is going to be really easy. The first one, and I would say is one of the more important ones, is download using somebody's link. It doesn't even necessarily need to be my link, but make sure that you are using somebody's link because it starts you off with some free champions. For example, with my link, you get to start off with a Lenril. She places poison, she explodes poison, and then at level 10 you do get Yugo, level 20 is Vayne, and level 30 is Mausoleum Mage, which is 3 epics. So just by using my link, you get 4 champions right there. And then enter a new player code, some type of a promo code. There are a ton of them out there. I've made videos on them, but this is going to get you another legendary. Like if you want somebody like Alice or Tuhanarak or Tholen, like there's Sun Wukong, ton of options for a legendary. But make sure that that is how you start your raid journey. Next up is going to be, don't forget your dailies. Doing your daily quests, it really does not take that long, and you're going to get lots of resources out of it, which are worth it. You get shards along the way if you're doing your weeklies, you're doing your monthlies, which I am super close. I actually just need to go ahead and finish these dailies. And as I said, they're usually pretty easy. Hopping into something like Arena, it's not going to take you more than 5-10 minutes, really probably to do everything. When you're starting early on, it might take a little bit longer, but honestly, it's worth it to at least go ahead and get all of these done. Next up, don't build too many champions at once. This was a mistake that I kind of made early on, where anytime I would go ahead and pull a champion, I would immediately try to build them, fit gear on them, and then you quickly learn that champions are really only as good as the gear that they have on them. Try not to overwhelm yourself with building too many at once, especially early on. The first champs that you should really be focusing on are some of the core areas of your game. For example, your first level 60, that should be your campaign farmer. It is going to make it so much easier for you to build future level 60s. So really take it slow when you're actually building out these champions. And that way you're not going to overwhelm yourself. You're not going to run out of resources, because that's 100% what I did. I even still now have half-built champions, or I started to build champs I thought I would need or use for something. And at this point, I don't even use them. And I almost even regret building them. So the safest thing to do first is just build that campaign farmer first, and then you'll slowly kind of build champions as you need them for other parts of the game. This is going to bring me into my next point, because as you are going through these dungeons and you're getting gear, you want to make sure that you are not wasting silver upgrading gear that should not be upgraded. There's a few things I mean when I say that. Starting off especially early, you do not need to actually upgrade a lot of that gear. You're going to quickly replace it, especially if it is your common, your uncommon, your rare. Those gears you probably don't want to sink too much of your silver actually into, and pay attention to the stats as well. For example, along the bottom where you have those boots, the gauntlet, the chest plates. With these ones, you're typically going to want all of these to be percent, apart from a few ones that fall into the exception category. Example, this chest plate, this is a flat set, but it's accuracy. For boots, typically these are going to be speed. If they're not speed, chances are you're not going to keep them, you're going to sell them. There might be a few champs here and there, especially early on. Maybe you need to use an attack percent, HP percent. But if that's the case, don't bring these to a full level 16. So just pay attention to what the gear is. Don't just go ahead and upgrade whatever simply because you have silver. Early on, it will feel like you were swimming in silver, but it will go very quickly. I found myself very quickly actually learning this, and I stopped myself before I got into that trap of like, oh, all the gear I get, I should upgrade. I don't even know if I'm going to use it, but yeah, I should upgrade it. Definitely don't do that. It was a waste of silver because I very quickly replaced that with better gear. So just be careful of what you are actually upgrading. Try not to waste your silver on things that you know will quickly be replaced. As you are going through and completing things in this game, keep an eye on your challenges and your missions. It's not too bad, because for some of these, if you've already done it, for example, your progress missions, it will go ahead and it will check that off. But when you're going through with some of the challenges, see what it requires you do in case it's something that you're going to have to farm anyways. Keep an eye on that and really just follow the challenges and missions along the way. This next one is one of the most important ones, and one of the ones that I early on and even now, it's actually caused me to fall back in my progress. And this is something I wish I could have went back and told myself as a new player. But use any and all of your keys. Don't try not to let them sit max. Now, this is not just going for your tokens, your fortress keys, all of it. Make sure you're using them. So get yourself into a clan, some type of an active clan, and make sure that you do go ahead and actually do the clan boss. This is eventually where you're almost relying on trying to get your shards, like your sacred shards you need for fusions and everything. You want to be able to eventually build yourself an ultra nightmare team. You want to be able to collect that last box, because that is where you get some of these amazing rewards. And honestly, as I said, it's one of those places you almost find yourself actually relying on. And then even going into something like Faction Wars, if you are stuck and maybe you can't progress any further than you already have, go ahead and just repeat some of the past floors. It is okay if you can't progress, at least use your keys, get the materials for this. You're going to eventually use these mats somewhere else, and these keys, they're free to use. They just sit there. They're going to reset the next day anyways. So you may as well go ahead and actually use them. There is another reason that I'm mentioning not letting these things sit at a max 10 out of 10, for example. And one of those main places for me is actually going to be my arena. At some point, I would sit there, I would do some of my tokens, and then I would kind of forget to do arena. And this to this day has quickly come back, and I wish I did more arena early on. And part of the reason for that is that I've actually fallen behind in my Great Hall, because I need to get this stuff upgraded. But in order to do that, I need a lot of gold medals. So I need to do a lot of arena. And part of the reason I'm pushing so hard to do that is really because I'm trying to get Arbiter. And I think I could have had her sooner had I paid more attention and focused more on arena. So that is what I'm doing right now. And that is because ultimately, as you go through and as you do these missions, you are going to need to upgrade one of these affinity bonuses to level 10. And that takes forever because it takes so many gold tokens to actually be able to do that. For example, I'm at level 6 right now, and just to get to level 10, it's going to cost an insane amount. And I have 172 right now, so I have a far ways to go to actually be able to complete something like this. So I would say that is like my main piece of advice, is just do your arena for sure. Set up a weak defense, climb up there. Now, obviously I'm at the point I need gold medals, so gold is kind of where I'm farming, but I would actually get into that gold tier. And then I would go ahead and maybe not touch it for a couple days, and I would fall so far back down that I'm like, oh, I have to climb back up again. And it just really wasted more of my time versus sitting in there, staying in there and focusing on it. So make sure that you do your arena. And while we're talking about it, do your tag team arena. I know this is probably not the most fun thing to do. I know it feels like it takes forever, but the reason you want to do it is so that you go ahead and grab the pieces that you'll need for this legendary. Because again, this is another champ that I probably should have already had by now. You can only buy one piece a day, so by this logic, I 100% should have had this champion already. So get in there, do your tag team arena. It's the same thing, the tokens, and hopefully at least when you're in the lower bracket, it's not too bad. The teams go pretty fast. As you climb higher up, it'll take you a little bit longer, but that is another legendary you can add into your roster. You can use in Faction Wars, Doom Tower, and Curse City. So just a reminder to actually do it. When it comes to your gem usage, this is another thing. Make sure that you actually go ahead and upgrade your mine. Get this max level. It's going to produce gems for you. Eventually, it will pay out what you cost to actually upgrade it, plus some, as well as your guardian ring. Unlock all of these. You don't necessarily need to upgrade them. I haven't upgraded them, but I've at least unlocked them because it is a great way to actually passively upgrade some of your champions and build yourself some fodder, because that is definitely what you will be lacking in this game, is fodder. I personally like to go ahead and build a bunch of, let's say, uncommons, get them to max 20, and really just have them sitting there waiting until an event or tournament comes around that I'm actually going to need them for. Because anytime there's a champion training event, if you've got food sitting there waiting to be upgraded, definitely makes it easier. Which brings me to the next point. Check your tournaments and check your events. Something could be going on that you already need to do. For example, there's a classic arena takedown going on right now. So I may as well go ahead and make sure that I'm actually farming my arena so that I'm able to get that tournament done. And also, as I said, check the events too. Sometimes it's something like a gear enhancement event. Maybe you need to upgrade gear anyway. So keep an eye on those, double check those, and really just see what's going on in game. And I do say that because I've definitely been there where I checked a tournament and then I was like, yeah, this is going on. and I went ahead and Classic Arena Takedown was going on, and I thought I completed it, but I didn't, and I only really needed like 2 or something more battles to get that next prize that they had on the side, the reward on this side. And I was like, I should have just paid attention to it. So I definitely missed out on some of those things and resources that I shouldn't have. So just a reminder for that one. That's gonna bring me to another point, which is don't fall into like a FOMO trap and feel like you need to get the top spot in any and all of these tournaments. Sometimes you may think like, I need to participate in every single thing, and that can be exhausting, that can burn you out. I'm here to tell you, definitely do not. Early on, even doing content, I was like, I need to participate in everything. And then I realized that might not be possible to actually participate in anything. So once you tell yourself, like, it's okay if I miss out on some things, that's fine. It'll probably make things more enjoyable for yourself. I do also think a big thing in this game is actually resource management. So that being silver, your energy, your gems. Your energy, typically you don't want to sit above your cap. I know right now I have 546 out of 130. That's simply because the login one gave me like 400 energy or something. So I'm already over the cap. I will make sure I use this, but you don't want this to actually sit above the cap if you can avoid it. And the other side of resource management is going to be the shards. When it comes to actually going ahead and pulling your shards, don't pull them just like this. Like you see, there's nothing going on. It's simply pulling your shards, but wait for different events to happen. Whether it is a ×2, it's boosted rates, ×2 chance of getting epic or legendary champions is a great time to do it. If there is a champion chase tournament going on, better yet, if there is a fusion, if there's a fusion going on, I know some people will save all of their shards and resources. That's one way to do it. I kind of do a mix. If it's a ×2, I will sometimes go ahead and pull for that. If I know like a fusion is coming I really want, I'll save my resources for that. But as long as you're just not pulling your shards like this when there's nothing going on, that's probably one of the biggest wastes and terrible time to actually go ahead and pull your shards. So be patient with them, pull them when there is events going on in game and it actually makes sense to do so. That is it for today's video. Hopefully it helps you out. Those are really just things that I've learned along the way, and I know that we always have new players joining raid and coming into raid. So I want you guys comment down below and let me know what is the one piece of advice that you would have for a new player. And be sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, including some of my future tips like this. Maybe it's shard pulls or even my climb into live arena as I continue my journey as a raid player. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!